Although the Trump administration upheld its plan to impose tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum early today, Ontario Premier Doug Ford says cooler heads prevailed to avert even stiffer 50% levies. Truckloads of steel leave a huge plant in Selkirk with about 70% of the product destined for the U.S. These tariffs are expected to affect many families who rely on the Selkirk plant for employment. Joining us now is Selkirk Mayor Larry Johannson. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning. How are you doing, Michelle?
I'm okay. How are you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing fine. When Terry was, I didn't know if Terry was talking about the tariffs or the weather when she said some clouds are hanging around and it will be gloomy for a while, but soon the sunshine will break through. So I'm hoping it was a bit of both.
Yeah, well, let's hope so. On average, how many people from Selkirk work at the steel plant, would you say?
Well, we're probably in all our industries close to 550. There's 400 unionized at the mill. There's Black Cat Blades. There's the recycling plant. So yeah, it's up around 550 employees. The plant has been here for 100 years, over 100 years. And as mayor, I'm optimistic that it's going to be here for another 100 years. This has been something that's, this back and forth is really, really hard on us. I was in meetings yesterday in Winnipeg when I got the news that the tariffs were going up another 25%, and Premier Canoe and I had a little bit of a back and forth, and it's ludicrous. That's my word for it, ludicrous.
Well, fortunately, cooler heads did prevail when Doug Ford did drop that plan to add a 25% tariff to all hydroelectricity going to the state. Now, Ford's phone calls also secured him a meeting with Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick in Washington. He calls tomorrow's meeting an olive branch from Lutnick and expects they'll discuss a renewed continental trade agreement. What are you hoping to see happen there?
Well, I'm looking forward to that. I just kind of was informed about it this morning, so I'm optimistic. I think it's at least a good start. I got to be honest, I was hoping that they would have allowed maybe a couple other premiers to go with Doug. I'd love to see our premier there, Premier Canoe, and I'd love to see the Premier of BC there too. I think the three of them together bring a lot to the table. We all have common interests. I've got faith in Premier Ford to do a good job. I would just love to see a little bit of a balance of opinions there. So I really, really wish when I found out about this meeting tomorrow, I really wish that we could have had a couple of more there. And saying that, I've got complete confidence in Premier Canoe and his ministers. I've got confidence in all the premiers across Canada and the federal government. This is uncharted territories. I mean, we were here in 2018, myself as mayor, and we made it through that. The tariffs came off within a year, and there was no layoffs at our plants. But this is a little bit of a different one going on, and it's this day-to-day change by the hour that's really, really hard on all the leaders.
Absolutely, and there's so much uncertainty. So now, despite all this, the tariffs are in place right now. What will this mean to that steel company in Selkirk?
Well, the 25%, we're just going to keep going business as usual. That's what happened in 18. The plant, it's owned by a Brazilian firm. And quickly, I'll tell you, they bought a lot of North American plants, including Selkirk Steel. And they shut down a lot of North American plants. But they kept this one open. They see a lot of potential here in Manitoba. They invested a lot of money into this plant. We ship a lot of steel through the U.S. We go to Canada, through Mexico. It's a green steel. It's completely from recycled steel, so it's environmentally conscious, which is this city, Selkirk City, is the same. So I think we're going to weather this storm. We're going to get through it. Once the winds die down, though, we have to look at how we do business in Canada, and the leaders are going to have to get together. We're going to have to change. We have to, interprovincial trade has got to open up. That's a big thing. Not so much dependency on one country, being the U.S., so it can hold us over our heads. And our energy, our gas and oil, we've got to look at the way we do business, not towards the next election, but we have to look at the way we do business for the next generation.
Yeah, and there's already moves to do something like that right now, Larry.
There is, and we've been talking about this. I mean, you and I talked when we were down in Fredericton, and that's been my stance right from the start. That we can't just go back to business as usual and have the butterflies gone and the stress off our backs. We have to take a look at making Canada even stronger. And if there's a silver lining here, Rochelle, this has brought real patriotism in Canada. When you see people talking about we're in this as a team Canada, you see the flags flying, you see the people wearing the Canada hats. It's something to see, and that's going to be a silver lining that's going to come out of this at the end of the day.
Larry, elbows up. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks a lot, Michelle. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.